Friend, you need to study the devil. Yeah, you need to study the devil because he's been studying you. And I don't mean for that to sound creepy, it's just logical. When we look at Job 1, verse 6 and 7, it says, "Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also was among them. The Lord said to Satan, 'From where have you come?' And Satan answered the Lord and said, 'From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking up and down on it.'" I'll even add verse 8. "And the Lord said to Satan, 'Have you considered my servant Job? And there is nothing like him on earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil.'" It goes on to say, right? This passage goes on to say that Satan tells God, "Yeah, I've seen Job, but of course he serves you because your hand is on him. You protect him wherever he goes. You're always with him. So of course he's going to be good. Of course he's going to be righteous, right?" But what I think is the most important part of this is for Satan to know this means that he would have had time to observe Job. He would have had to see Job on multiple days, multiple occasions for him to say he's righteous because you always have your hand on him. If he'd only seen him a day, he wouldn't have been able to say that. No, he's seen him multiple days, likely from the moment that he was born. He's just been watching. I'm going to show you another one. Let's go to 1 Peter 5, verse 8. Verse 8. It says, "Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for anyone he can devour." We saw this in Job, that the devil was going around the earth, just going to and fro, looking at people. And now 1 Peter 5 tells us the same thing, that he's not even just going around the earth, he's actively looking for who he can devour. How would the devil know who he can devour? It's in the same way that a thief knows which house to rob. If you're a millennial like me, you remember the movie Home Alone. Remember, before the burglars came to rob the McAllister family, they scouted the place. They came by even dressed as a police officer to look at the house. They drove past the house a couple times just to see, what time are these people going to bed? How many people are there? Where are they going? When are they coming back? How much time do we have before they come back and realize that we've robbed the place? In the same way that thieves watch and case the place that they're about to rob, in that same way, the enemy also goes to and fro to watch us and to see who he can devour. Now, what does that mean? That means that the enemy knows your flaws. He knows your weaknesses. He knows that when you start to feel lonely, it's easy for you to reach out to your ex. He knows that when you're hungry, it's easy for you to become undisciplined or to become cranky. He knows that when you feel like you're failing, you start to retreat, and now you're no longer around people who can hold you accountable. The enemy knows our patterns, so he knows when to strike. It's like I saw this video, I'll try to put it in here, of this guy who had set up little dominoes from really teeny tiny ones to like a really big one. And he was just showing that he doesn't have to actually make the big domino fall. All he has to do is just gently push the small one, and that will fall. And that'll make the next one fall, and the next one fall, and the next one fall, until the big domino actually ends up falling. And sometimes the devil will do that. He will push us so that a small domino falls. So this little push can be something like, I don't know, an argument with a parent or a spouse, or it could be you just waking up and like you didn't get enough sleep, or this could be someone being disrespectful to you, right? It's just this little tiny domino that he knows that if he pushes that, you will take it the rest of the way. You will make the other dominoes fall because he knows your patterns. He knows how you respond when you feel disrespected. He knows how you respond when you're tired or hungry. He knows you because he's been watching you. And once again, I know that sounds creepy, but I think it's something to keep in mind, that we have a very real enemy. Now, mind you, God has overcome everything, and he will help us when we ask Him every step of the way. Every time God's going to show up, He is so consistent. At the same time, we also have to be mindful that there is a very real enemy, and his intention is to look for anyone he can devour. So I honestly believe, and maybe that's because I'm a psychologist, but I honestly believe that self-awareness, knowing your patterns, knowing your behaviors, knowing your emotional wounds, knowing your tendencies, right? Your convictions, your values, knowing yourself is one of the greatest weapons in spiritual warfare. Because when you know yourself, you can not only regulate yourself, but you can go to God. Once you see that first domino start to fall, you can immediately cut it off and say, no more. I'm not letting the next ones fall. No, you're not getting this out of me. Instead of letting a bad moment turn into a bad day and maybe into a depressive episode, as soon as I start to feel that feeling, I'm taking it to God and I'm saying, the joy of the Lord is my strength. I'm cutting you off right after you make that first domino fall. I'm cutting you off. You are not getting any further. No more dominoes are falling. Know your enemy, because he knows you.